Good morning, everyone. I want to welcome you to our Build a Business with Amazon webinar. It is live with our presenter, Abby Malcho. And Abby is manager of the Small Business Partnerships at Amazon. And today we're going to focus on making your business grow with Amazon. Now, before we get started, I'm going to give you some tips that'll make this session run smoothly and help you get the most out of our time here. I am Jean Smith. I am the training coordinator here at the University of Houston-Victoria Small Business Development Center. And so as others are still joining us, I'm going to run through a couple slides. Now, we are recording today's webinar. Took me a moment to get it on, but yes, we are recording. So you will get a link to the recording so you can watch the information again. In addition, there are some resources I've already listed in the chat just about the Small Business Academy at Amazon and some of the resources that they have for you. Now, so your webinar view does not lag, and we do have mics muted, and your webcam should be turned off. I would like to think that technology has advanced to where we could have that on, but it doesn't work real well. You can ask questions at any point during this webinar, and that question may be answered by the presenter or by somebody typing back to you. We ask that you put your questions in the chat box so everybody can see them. That helps us avoid duplication. So I would say let's make sure that chat's working. Go ahead, introduce yourself, and let us know where you're joining us from. That lets us know our platform is working, chat is working, and it gives Abby an idea of where folks are joining us from today. Now, if you're having audio issues, check your speaker and audio settings and know that the internet connection can affect the quality of the sound that you're having. So I need to tell you about the University of Houston-Victoria Small Business Development Center. We are located at the University of Houston-Victoria in Victoria, Texas, and we are a business advising and training center, and we serve 11 counties in South Texas. So we are also part of the Texas Southwest SBDC network, and we are a resource partner with the SBA, who helps provide our funding, and we are also funded in part by the state of Texas. Now, as you can see here, our network covers all of South Texas. There's 79 counties, and each of our field centers is hosted by a university or community college, just like we are. In addition, actually every county in this country is covered by an SBDC. There are over 1,000 of us across the country. And if you are not within our service area and you want assistance from an SBDC, you can go to www.americassbdc.org and you can find your SBDC and sign up for our services. So as you can see, as I said, our network covers almost all of South Texas. We go from El Paso in the west all the way to the Gulf Coast here in the east. So quite frankly, you're never far from small business assistance. And we just have outlined here the counties that we in particular cover, but we are always happy to help you connect with a center that is close to you. Our services are provided through our funding, and they are no cost, confidential, and client driven. So from startup to expansion to transition, our business advisors are available for the life cycle of your business. Now, we do not provide legal or tax advice, and we are often confused with the SBA, but we are not the SBA, and we do not have access to SBA-related records. If you need SBA services, we can certainly help you find the district office that can assist you. So in addition to our no-cost business advising, we also have training opportunities at no cost and low cost, just like we're having today. In addition, through our network, you can, as a client, you can access specialty resources, which you see listed on the slide. So access to these centers is also at no cost for our clients. So it is a great deal. We consider it to be prepaid paid for with your taxpayer dollars. So if you're not utilizing SBDC services to grow your business, we'd highly recommend that you consider signing up and being a client. Let me introduce today's speaker, because I'm sure you've heard me say enough now. Abby is the manager of small business partnerships with Amazon. She develops and manages partnerships that help drive success for entrepreneurs and small businesses through delivering programs and investments that support their continued growth. She joined Amazon in December of 2018, and she focuses on enabling the success of entrepreneurs, small businesses, and underserved businesses through a variety of roles, programs, and initiatives, including creating the Military Entrepreneurship Program, supporting the launch of Amazon Supplier Diversity Program. And prior to joining Amazon, Abby worked for Intel Corporation, and Abby is also a retired U.S. Navy chief and combat veteran, having served more than 20 years in the military. And Abby, thank you for your service. And with that, I'm going to end my slideshow, and I'm going to stop sharing, and I am going to allow Abby to bring up her presentation and get to the reason why everybody has joined us today.
Thank you, Jean. Let me just share my screen. Let me know if you can see it.
I can see it.
Awesome. Well, with that, we'll just go ahead and dive right in. Today, we're going to talk about building a business with Amazon. I do want to clarify, let me just move to the agenda slide real quick so you can help visualize this. So I do want to clarify, we also provide a webinar series on selling an Amazon store. We're not going to discuss the specifics of selling in an Amazon store today, but rather we're going to talk about the different programs that Amazon has where you can either start a business with Amazon or you can earn a side income with Amazon. Because believe it or not, we have a ton of different programs at Amazon that you can leverage. So this information today is meant to be really informational and help you better understand the landscape that we have at Amazon that you can potentially leverage as you're looking to either start a business, grow your business, or maybe, like I mentioned, just earn side income, because the gig economy is very much a real thing these days. So here's a quick look at our agenda. We're going to talk a little bit about selling and creating in our store. We're going to talk about publishing, Kindle Direct Publishing, as well as selling books in our store, delivering Amazon packages, and then we're going to talk about our influencer and associates programs. And then I'm going to share some resources at the very end that we have at Amazon for small businesses. If you do have questions throughout this webinar, please feel free to put them in the Q&A. I will make sure that we have enough time at the end of this to be able to hopefully answer everyone's questions, but we'll do our best. Okay, so let's first talk about selling and creating an Amazon store. So there are demonstrated growth opportunities when you sell an Amazon store. Believe it or not, many people don't know this, but more than 60% of sales in our store come from independent sellers, and most of those independent sellers are small and medium-sized businesses. It can be a huge growth driver for a small business because it's giving you access to a whole bunch of new customers that you may not already have. And then a couple of data points, because we love our data at Amazon. This is data as well. It's current from 2022, so fairly recent. In 2022, Amazon sellers in our store, they created over 1.5 million US jobs, which I think is pretty incredible. And brand owners grew their sales more than 20% year over year. So if you're thinking about maybe creating your own product, your own unique brand, there are a lot of great opportunities for you within Amazon store.
Hi, Abby. This is Lindsay. I'm going to interject just for a moment. If you could bring your mic up a little closer to your mouth, I think some people are having a hard time hearing
how's
you.
this? Is this better?
Thank you.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Sometimes you can't hear yourself, obviously, so no worries. Well, hopefully this is better. Now let's talk about when and what to sell in Amazon store. I always tell folks that timing is critical to your success when selling an Amazon store. Many people, they just want to do it right away, but you really need to think about who your target customer is, what type of product you want to sell. Do you have an established inventory and supply chain in place? These are all key things you want to consider before you start selling an Amazon store. Now, what I will say for the product thing, you do want a product that's easy to package and ship, and you want a product that has branding potential. What I mean here is I met I meet so many small businesses during my time here at Amazon, and one small business that I always use as an example, he was selling bathtubs in Amazon store, so probably not a good fit for Amazon store. Most of us don't really buy a bathtub on Amazon. We usually go to Home Depot or Lowe's for that. So when I say you want a product that's easy to package and ship, you probably want something like what you see here on the screen, like a headset, pet products, household products, things like that. And then again, you do want to make sure that your inventory and supply chain are in place, because again, you're ready to be discovered by a larger audience. So it's very important that you're able to replenish your inventory and know how long it takes for you to replenish that inventory before you sell an Amazon store. Now, we do have two selling plans. I always like to make people aware of this. The individual plan here is 99 cents a sale. This is really good for people who are just starting out, and you're going to be selling fewer than 40 items a month. So you just want to start out. Maybe this is also, I want to call out, a really good selling plan if you're selling books in the store, because books in the stores can be very infrequent demand, and you don't want to pay a monthly fee, but rather you just want to pay 99 cents a sale. So individual is you sell fewer than 40 items a month. You don't need advanced selling tools or data, and you're still kind of deciding what to sell. Now, for the professional selling plan, that is $39.99 a month. And for this, we usually say, oh, you're typically selling more than 40 items a month. You do have access to a lot of advanced reporting and data analytics within your professional account. And then with the professional account, it also makes you eligible for certain programs that Amazon has for sellers in the store, such as Buy with Prime, as an example. And I will say that you can switch plans at any time. So you don't have to have the individual for very long. If you want to switch to the professional, you can do that, and vice versa. So there's no long-term commitment with either plan. Now, there are two websites where you can go to create your account. I always want to make sure that people are aware of business.amazon.com, because if you're selling primarily to other businesses, or even if you're a business purchasing on behalf of your business, Amazon Business is really the website for you. So this is for folks who are selling primarily to other businesses. That is business.amazon.com. Once you create a product listing on Amazon Business, it is visible on both our Amazon Business and Amazon.com. So it lives on both websites, which I think is pretty cool. If you're selling direct to consumer, you would create your account on sell.amazon.com. So just really keep in mind that there's two different sites that you can use to sell your products. Now, I like to always have like a real world example of someone who is found success selling in the store, because let's face it, I'm from Amazon. While I know about selling in the store, I don't have like firsthand success stories like, John Spalding here on the screen. So for John Spalding, this is a really good use case example. He was really focused on growing his business in the Nashville area, and his business was great until the pandemic hit in 2020, and we're all very familiar with the pandemic, where he had to close the doors for his stores. And because of that, he started selling online in order to keep his business alive and growing. So he started selling on Amazon store, and in just 1 year, their sales increased to over $500,000, which I think is pretty incredible in just 1 year. Their company is now up over 30% from 2021, and their projected sales that were over $800,000. So that's incredible growth to go from 0 to 500 to over $800,000. And I just want to make folks aware too, and I'm always transparent because I think that's very important. it can be very challenging to sell in the store. And like I mentioned earlier, we do offer separate sessions where we get into more detail on selling in the store. So, it may not be the same success story for everyone. There is a little bit of trial and error when you sell in the store. You have to be willing to experiment, try new things, and just keep an open mind because, again, it can be pretty challenging. But I want to call out that what made John successful, what helped his success, is he's a brand owner. So he has his own company, Brittle Brothers, and because of that, he's offering his own unique differentiated product. When you're reselling products in the store, let's say you buy directly from a manufacturer, you're buying like socks as an example, it's going to be much harder to be able to sell that in Amazon store and earn a solid revenue stream unless you're employing various tactics. So it's very different experience when you're reselling products from being a brand owner. So I just want to call that out real quick. We have another great program too within our store. It's called Merch on Demand. This is one of my favorite programs. With Merch on Demand, you basically are printing your designs on demand. So kind of like the picture you see here on the screen, someone designed those or created those designs that you see on the t-shirt and the sweater and the handbag. And when someone orders that design in Amazon store, it's then printed on demand, whether it's a t-shirt or a sweatshirt or something of that nature. It can be accessories, graphic tees, whatever. This is for folks who are content creators. And all you have to do for this program is just upload your artwork and fill out the product details. And then Amazon creates a product page for you where customers will then directly buy your product. And then from there, Amazon does all of the shipping, production, and customer service. So all you do is upload your design, and then Amazon does everything else for you. So this is really cool program that I like to call out. You do get a royalty paid on every product that you sell within the store. The royalties will fluctuate, but just to give you an idea of what a royalty would look like, let's say you sell a t-shirt for about $24. Someone buys that t-shirt. You'll make typically about $8.25 in royalty. There is a royalty calculation page if you go to merch.amazon.com to be able to see what type of royalty you would get depending on the artwork and the type of product you're trying to sell. But this is just a really great program if you like to print, have designs that you want to print on demand. So just some key information I do want to call out for this program. All of the products through Merch on Demand are eligible for Prime shipping. You do not have to enroll in Fulfillment by Amazon, for example. Everything is done for you once you've uploaded that design. And people love Prime shipping. People love the 1 day, the 2 day, the guaranteed delivery that they know that they're going to get when they order through Prime. Now, copycat designs are strictly prohibited. What I mean there is you can't take a picture, like a picture off the internet, and then reproduce it when it's someone else's design. Okay, so that would be a copyright infringement. You do want to make sure that the design is unique to you, something that you've created yourself. There is no inventory risk with this program. Like I mentioned, there's absolutely no overhead. You just upload the design for it to be printed on demand. And what we say is we definitely recommend you own the right to your design. If you don't want anyone to duplicate your design, it's better to protect that through some type of copyright protection. And that's just something I want to call out. That's for people who don't want anyone to duplicate the design that they've created. So to learn more about this program, you can just go to merch.amazon.com. Another program I love to call out is Amazon Handmade, kind of like Merch on Demand. This is for folks who are artisans who like to create their own handmade product or their own hand altered product. So kind of think of this as like Amazon's version of Etsy. It is all of these products at Amazon Handmade are on Amazon.com. And it's basically an application-based process because Amazon does want to verify that this is actually a handmade or a hand-altered product. And then some of the great benefits of the program Amazon, once you're approved, will waive the $39.99 selling fee per month, and you only pay a 15% referral fee. And another really cool benefit of this program is you get your own brand store, basically, your own artisan page. So if people really want to buy multiple products from you, or if they want to learn more about who you are as an artisan, you can showcase all of your products that you've made on one page. So it's kind of like an all-in-one shopping destination. So it's a really cool program. I like to make people aware of it because not a lot of people know this exists for some reason. So if you are that type of artisan, definitely check out Amazon Handmade. Now let's talk about publishing books in the store and selling books in the store. I've met so many people over the years who have successfully created their own books and printed their own books on Amazon, and they kind of use it. It depends on obviously the publisher or whoever or what you're writing or creating. People can make that, pretty steady side income. It's pretty interesting. I've met a lot of military spouses over the years who've written numerous books through Kindle Direct Publishing, and it's been pretty lucrative for them. So with Kindle Direct Publishing, and I myself am a big Kindle fan, I love Kindle, you can self-publish ebooks, hardcovers, and paperbacks. So let's say you've created a manuscript, you've created a book, you just go to kdp.amazon.com, submit your manuscript, and from there, Amazon will typically approve that content or have that content available within the store in about 72 hours. Publishing literally takes less than 5 minutes with Kindle Direct Publishing. It's pretty fast and straightforward. And they kind of walk you through all of the steps once you go to kdp.amazon.com. So it's very user-friendly in that sense. And with Kindle Direct Publishing, or KDP as we call it, you can earn up to 70% royalty on your sales. So this is for the books that you own the copyright to. That goes back to my earlier point on making sure you own the rights to your content. And we do have marketplaces across the world for Kindle. So you control the rights to your book. You set your own prices for the book, and you can make changes to your book at any time. So pretty easy and straightforward there. And we know that, maybe Kindle Direct Publishing seems a little bit overwhelming, but don't be overwhelmed because we do have Kindle Create. This is a free tool that Amazon has to help you format your ebook and your paperback, because formatting obviously can be a little challenging, at least for someone like me who's not so savvy in here. But as you prepare your book for publication, you'll want to consider how you create the best reading experience for your audience, right? So to aid with like the formatting of your manuscript, we have a service called Kindle Create. These are mostly for text-heavy books, I want to say. Like, let's say you're printing a journal on demand, you're probably not going to need Kindle Create. But if you're publishing like a novel, an essay, a memoir, something of that, or a textbook, you'll want to use Kindle Create. And if you don't have a cover for your book, we also have Kindle Direct Publishing has a cover creator to help you design a cover for your book. So it's just based on an image that you provide or a selection. You can also use an image from the gallery that Kindle has. They have a whole gallery of stock images that you can use. And from there, you can customize the cover of your book with a variety of layouts and options. This just is a free desktop application that Amazon has that is compatible for both PC and Mac, but it is a desktop application. And also, we have Author Central. So let's say you've published a book in Kindle Direct Publishing, and maybe you want to publish more books, or maybe you just want to share who you are as an author. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of branding yourself and sharing with people what makes you you, what makes you unique, right? You can create an Amazon author page. So I personally do this with all of my favorite authors. If I read a new book, I follow them on Kindle, so that way I know when a new book they've published is available, or if they, write blog posts, I can read all of their blog posts. But this is a great way to just create a page unique to you as an author, where you can update your profile with a biography of you, some photos, some videos, encourage readers to follow you, especially if you're going to be publishing more content through Kindle. And this is available to every author within the Kindle, within Amazon store. So again, it's just something to help really make people aware of who you are as an author. And we have another use case example of someone who's found success publishing. Kate, look at, she's already published 12 Kindle Direct Publishing books. That's pretty incredible. And her genre is contemporary romance. So, this is another COVID success story. I just want to warn you. But she used to be a school teacher or a principal at a school. And when everything went remote, during COVID, she was able to take that free time that she had by not having to commute to work, by being remote, and she found free time to pursue her writing. And she basically spent about 90 minutes a day to write her first novel, and she had that novel written within 30 days of working from home. So she did self-publish through Kindle Direct Publishing. Her book was available to folks within the store in less than 24 hours. And since then, she's written 8 more books, 2 novellas, and is continuing to write. So, I know not everyone here may be an author, and that's totally fine. But just keep in mind that if you are that type of person who likes to be creative, who likes to write, Kindle makes it pretty easy for you. So. Now, let's say you are not an author. Let's face it, I'm not an author. I'd like to just read other people's books. But you want to still make some type of money through selling books in the store. Now, I personally, I myself have a huge library of books, a lot of signed books as well, and like collectible books. So let's say you are someone like me and you have a huge library of books, or you have your own bookstore, like a brick and mortar bookstore. You can sell those books in Amazon store. It can be a nice income stream for you on the side, because it doesn't really require too much work on your end. You can resell nonfiction, you can resell collectible books. It all depends on what you want to sell. So once you've decided like what type of book you want to sell, it's very simple. You just create an account like we mentioned earlier with the selling plan. That's when you would probably want to do the individual selling plan where you're only paying 99 cents a sale. And then obviously you want to make sure you're very honest with people about the condition of the book, whether it's new or it's used, whether it's a collectible or a first edition. Very important to be very honest with your audience to make sure that you earn positive reviews when people purchase your book, right? So if you don't know what kind of books you want to sell in Amazon store, you can research genres and categories that sell best on Amazon. We do have an annual bestseller list. I myself am a big fan of that list because I get new book ideas to spot patterns of popular books that sell online. And like I mentioned, you do want to be 100% honest about the condition of the book. And we do talk in, like I mentioned in other presentations, on how to sell an Amazon store to create your product listing. But I just like to make people aware that you can sell actual books within the store, even if you're not someone who creates your own content. All right, let's talk about delivering Amazon packages. We have quite a few programs at Amazon related to our delivery side of the business, because as you can imagine, the delivery side of our business is pretty massive. And if in order to get packages to people in 1 to 2 days, it does require quite a large distribution network. I always like to make people aware of Amazon Flex. Consider this like being an Uber driver for Amazon, but you're delivering packages instead. So it's kind of like, or maybe DoorDash is a better example. So you basically create your own hours, you set your own hours. Amazon Flex drivers typically earn $18 to $25 an hour. And you get paid in hourly blocks. So when you schedule a block, you'll know how long that block lasts and how much you can earn. So it's pretty easy from that sense. To qualify to be a flex driver, it's very straightforward. You just need to be at least 21 years old. You must have a valid US driver's license, and you must have a midsize or larger vehicle. Now, what I want to say here for midsize, just think of something like a four-door sedan, like a Volkswagen Jetta, as an example. And then you must have an iPhone or an Android smartphone, which most of us do have a smartphone. And then you have to live in a city where Flex operates. Flex is available in over 50 cities in the US. What I always recommend here, this is a pro tip here. If you're interested in Amazon Flex, I always say go ahead, but let's say Flex isn't operating in the Houston area. I'm just using Houston as an example. You can still create an account with Flex. Just download the app, create an account, and they'll notify you when there's opportunities available within your city. You have to keep in mind that this is going to fluctuate quite a bit. As we approach the holiday season, for example, the chances of flex opportunities are likely to increase because they were going to have such a huge peak period with holiday. So the demand for this program will fluctuate, and it does fluctuate pretty frequently. So just keep that in mind. So if you're interested in the program, I highly recommend just downloading the app and signing up for them to then notify you when these opportunities become available in your area. Now, let's say you want to own your own business. We have our delivery service partner program. This is we try not to say the word franchise, but it is similar to basically a franchise type of business. So with this, you own your own delivery business for, we don't say Amazon because it's typically a franchise business, but this is you owning your own delivery business, okay? And the startup costs are very low. You can start your business with as little as $10,000, which is very low when you consider other franchise costs. Logistics experience is not required. Now, I do have quite a bit of experience interviewing folks for this program. It was like my first 2 years at Amazon. And what really makes someone a successful delivery service partner is their people management skills. Really, truly. It all comes down to your people management because you're doing the hiring, you're doing the firing, you're managing a fleet of anywhere from 20 to 40 vehicles. That's what we consider a fully ramped delivery service partner, is anywhere from 20 to 40 vehicles. So again, you don't really need logistics experience. You just really more need that people management ability. And let's say you do have 20 to 40 vans in your fleet, you can earn anywhere from 75,000 to 300,000 in annual profit, which is pretty substantial. And oh wait, let me go back to that slide real quick. I went too fast. I do want to call out, similar to Amazon Flex, the demand for this is also going to fluctuate. So let's say you're in the Houston area, you're like, but it's not available right now. I would go ahead but you're interested in the program, I would go ahead and apply because like, again, our peak periods, they fluctuate quite a bit. This year alone, we had 2 Prime Days. And, some delivery service partners, they'll end their business, giving opportunities for people to start new delivery service partner businesses. So again, if you're really interested in this program, I would just recommend going to start the process and see where, if there is no opportunity available for you at that moment, they will let you know when opportunities become available. And here's just a quick snapshot. I kind of talked about the startup costs already, but it takes usually on average about $10,000 to start this business. You can get a pretty hefty revenue, anywhere from 1 to 4.5 million. Revenue is great, but profit's even better. So for profit potential, like I mentioned, it's 75 to 300,000 on average if for a fully ramped, which is 20 to 40 vans. There are more than 2,500 delivery service partners here in the US, and they're recruiting. Again, if you go to logistics.amazon.com, they'll tell you where they're actively recruiting, but like I mentioned, that can fluctuate pretty frequently. Okay, my computer's being annoying. Okay. All right, now let's say you're a brick and mortar business. You have your own hair salon, or you're a flower shop, or a grocery store, something of that nature. This program just launched this year. This is called Hub Delivery. They literally just launched this year. It's pretty exciting. It is a delivery program. So how this program works in like the simplest terms is Amazon will drop off like anywhere from 20 to 50 packages at your brick and mortar store per day. And when you have free time throughout the working day, you then deliver those packages in your immediate area. So it's really relying on using businesses to deliver at the very last part of the delivery process. So you're delivering in your immediate area. So let's say, someone lives right down the block, you would deliver that package right down the block. So it's just a nice way to earn extra income as a small business owner. You can earn up to $27,000 per year by doing this. And they are recruiting in most major cities right now. They've even been recruiting in rural areas. They first tested this out in more rural locations. It was proven to be pretty effective, which is why it's now like a full-fledged program. But it is, pretty new. And I know that Dan, my colleague, is on this call, but there is, and maybe he can speak to this as well. I do know that there's a referral. You can get, I think there's like a $500 referral. So let's say a small business or that could be a good fit for this program. If you refer them to the program, I believe you can earn $500 for referring them. But Dan, he can fact check me on that because I'm not able to do that right now. So. All right, so let's talk about influencers and associates. So for those of you in this call who are more social media savvy, or let's say you're on TikTok, you're on Facebook, Instagram, and you have a pretty robust follower, we typically say over 500 followers who regularly engage with your content, you could be a potentially good fit for our Amazon influencer program. This is a pretty cool program. It basically lets you monetize your content as an influencer. I'm a big fan of monetization. And you can build your own storefront on Amazon as an influencer, which is what you see here in the image on the screen. And then you earn commissions on qualifying purchases. So basically you have a personalized page on Amazon, but you refer people to that personalized page on Amazon through your social media accounts like TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook. And once person makes the purchase through that link that you provide, that's when you earn a commission. So it's a pretty easy way to monetize as an influencer, which I like to make people aware of. Everyone always asks, like, what is the criteria to be approved for this program? Like I mentioned, you want to have at least 500 followers. That's a good rule of thumb. But they're also, when Amazon looks at people for this program, they're going to look at your engagement metrics. How often are you posting? How many people are engaging with your content and things of that nature. So I always say it never hurts to apply. So if you do think you are within that category of being an influencer, go ahead and apply because it never hurts to try. And we also have our associates program. This is for people who have their own website, their own blog, and they want to monetize traffic within that blog, within that website. Again, big fan of monetization. So how it works is basically you can share products and programs on Amazon with your audience. It's just, again, similar to associate or similar to influencer. It's just a customized linking tool that you have on your blog or your website. And if someone clicks on that and then makes a purchase, you earn up to 10% commission on qualifying purchases. So it's just link building tools to direct your audience to different products on Amazon. I've met quite a few people over the years who have done this on their blog and their website, and it's been pretty lucrative for them. So to qualify for this program, you must have your own website where it contains original content. I think a blog is, again, a really good example of what that would be. It has to be publicly available, so it can't just be a private hidden website. It has to be publicly available. So if you're like a person who loves to review products, or you're a stylist, or you're a content creator, or a curator, you're probably a good fit for this program. Now I'm going to share some additional resources we have at Amazon for small businesses. So recently relaunched earlier this year is the Amazon Small Business Academy. This is a free digital resource that Amazon has for aspiring entrepreneurs and small businesses. And it's basically provides access to educational content, peer networking opportunities, and expert advice. We do work very closely with the Collegiate Entrepreneurs Organization, who has a network of faculty that are experts in various subject matter areas to help produce this content. And you can watch things on demand. You can join live sessions, but it's just free. It's anyone can use it. So I always like to make people aware of it as a resource. If you are interested in learning more, you can just go to smallbusiness.amazon. I will say it's smallbusiness.amazon, not smallbusiness.amazon.com. A lot of people get confused there. It's just smallbusiness.amazon. One of the programs we have within our Amazon Small Business Academy is our Founders Table event series, which I also host that as well. We do them about quarterly. They're virtual event series, and we have one coming up in December. It will be in New Orleans, but again, it's primarily a virtual event series. What I do is I'll interview different business experts depending on the topic. The last episode we did, we were really focused on access to capital, access to funding. So I interviewed Arlen Hamilton, who's the founder of Backstage Capital. And then I always interview a local small business owner because, again, they're going to have their own advice, their own tips that can help you as well. And then within the event, we do Ask Me Anything sessions where you can submit questions to the people I'm interviewing. And then we do topic-driven networking sessions, which have proven to be very effective. So you kind of meet in a group of your choice based on the topic of your choice. And it's a really small group, maybe 10 people. And it allows you to just network, which I think is super important. Networking is huge for me. So if you're interested in learning more, you can just go to smallbusiness.amazon. And finally, within Amazon Small Business Academy, we have our This is Small Business podcast. This is not Amazon specific, but more meant to be informational and educational as well as inspirational. So Andrea, my coworker, she's the one who interviews basically small business owners and aspiring entrepreneurs. And through her interviews, they share what's worked for them, what hasn't worked for them, any resources that they found helpful. And it's just meant to be helpful in that sense by learning from other small businesses who've, have their own experiences to share. It is a pretty popular podcast. It's in its third season right now. And in April of this year, it was rated the #1 podcast for entrepreneurs on Apple Podcasts. So if podcasts are your thing, definitely recommend checking this out. One couple resources I like to share for folks who are selling in the store is Seller University. This is for people who have already created their selling account. They do have a YouTube channel that anyone can access, but this is going to be very specific to selling in Amazon store, and it's going to be very topic driven. So for example, if you're interested in learning more about advertising on Amazon store, they have dedicated sessions just to that topic, and you can ask people questions within those webinars as well. And then if you want to learn from other peers, we have seller forums. That's again within Seller Central. You can go to seller forums and ask questions from other sellers in Amazon store who can help you and vice versa. So it's great because sometimes you can easily get help from your peers. Now, I kind of talked about KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing, but we do have some educational resources if you're a little overwhelmed or you may find it you want to learn more. There is KDP University and Community. So they, similar to what I just shared on the previous screen, you can access educational videos and step-by-step guides if you're interested in publishing through KDP. And then you can also connect with other authors, which again allows you to learn from your peers. This is all available within kdp.amazon.com. We also have our Black Business Accelerator. This was launched in 2021. This is designed to provide growth opportunities, cash advancements, business coaching, and support to, again, certify Black-owned product-based businesses To qualify for this program, you must have a professional seller's account. You must have a physical product that you're ready to promote and sell, and you must have uploaded a valid minority-owned certification. So there is, all of this is available. What certifications they accept is available on sell.amazon.com/BBA. But this is a great program because they do provide business coaching support. You can get access to grants, access to advertising, credits, things of that nature. And if you're looking to fund your small business and you're selling in our store, we have Amazon Lending. This is business financing, but I will call out here that you must be selling an Amazon store for a minimum of 1 year to be eligible for this program. But it's very easy financing, and I forget the dollar amount, but they've basically lent out billions. I want to say it was in the billions last year. And I've met quite a few small businesses who have benefited from this, and it's very easy to pay back the loan. They just take a portion out of your Amazon sales to pay back the loan. But it is a great lending program that we have, but you must be selling in the store for a minimum of 1 year to be eligible. And then here's just a quick snapshot of some of our small business partners. We work with the Institute for Veterans and Military Families, Ladies Who Launch, like I mentioned, the Collegiate Entrepreneurs Organization. We work with SCORE. We're trying to partner more with small business development centers as well. And then we also partner with the Small Business Digital Alliance through the SBA. And on the very next slide, if you could kindly scan the QR code and submit a survey. We are always looking for customer feedback. That's how we know that we're providing value to you. And we want to make sure that if there are opportunities for us to improve and share different content for you, we really appreciate your feedback. So with that, I think we can go ahead and dive into Q&A.
Okay. We do have something from Q&A. I'm going to go over there and check. Okay. Our first question is from TJ. They're looking to create a prayer journal, and they want to know if this is something that they would use Kindle Create to create.
They would use, yes, they would use Kindle Direct Publishing to have the journal published. For the journal, you can potentially use Kindle Create. I don't see why you couldn't. But if you're trying to like differentiate your journal and make it really unique from what's already being sold on Amazon, you might want to consider a designer or some type of artwork too outside of Kindle.
Okay. Let me just. Okay, this comes from one of our resource partners who deals with government contracting. And a couple months ago, they saw a webinar on GovCon, and the presenter mentioned that government buyers are turning to Amazon to purchase commodities from diversified business owners. Can you share any information on the process, and how does Amazon vet those sellers as diverse suppliers?
Yeah, I'm glad. Like, I love this question because I have a supplier diversity background and a procurement background. No, yeah. So if they're Amazon, basically Amazon Business is the same certification requirements that any other corporation or private sector or company would have. They have to upload, like let's say you're a veteran-owned business, you have to upload that certification in order to be considered diverse. But the great thing about Amazon Business is it does allow you to meet that diverse criteria. Let's say you're trying to purchase an X amount from diverse businesses. You can easily do that through Amazon Business. You just filter by what you're looking for. But yes, it's very common for businesses to create accounts and sell, and for businesses to purchase on behalf of their business through Amazon Business.
Okay. And Nancy, you'll have to let me know if that covered what you needed. And some folks have asked if there'll be availability to the recording of today's presentation. And yes, there is. Plus, I have Abby's slides. So you'll get an email from me, and it will have that link in it. It'll have the slides. And I hope you all have taken picture of the QR code, gone to that that link, because that's going to tell us where we go from here. I always tell people that their responses to our post-event evaluations, our surveys, really drive where our training program goes, and that's so true. So by your answers and your feedback, we will know what should we cover next. Should we cover just selling on Amazon, or just whatever? You know, you all drive that process for us. And if you have a question, put it in the chat, put it in the Q&A, whichever you're more comfortable with. Let me see here. I just want to make sure I don't. Okay, Elijah has a question. This is about mentioning rights to your content on KDP. And what do you mean, and how do you go about gaining rights? And I will just point out to everyone that in the middle of November, we will have a no-cost webinar on intellectual property basics from the U.S. Patents and Trade Office. But I'm going to let Abby go ahead and answer that.
Oh, I'm so glad you're having that webinar. We get that question so many times. I can't emphasize enough, people over the years that I've met who start selling an Amazon store that don't have a trademark or don't have a patent or don't have a copyright. You always want to protect your intellectual property before selling or publishing an Amazon store, because anyone can duplicate it. You have to keep in mind there's hundreds of millions of people shopping on Amazon, and when you put your content on there and you're not trademarked, you're not copyrighted, or you don't have a patent, anyone can duplicate that. So you risk losing that market share to other people who could easily duplicate your product. So yes, you do want to make sure you protect your intellectual property. And in order to do that, I would definitely recommend leveraging your local small business development centers to help you with that process.
Okay. And if there's any other questions, please go ahead and put them into the chat or into the Q&A. Either way, we want to answer all your questions today. Let me just go back here. I'm not seeing anything in the chat. Not seeing anything in the Q&A. I'm going to bring up our ending slide.
This was an easy audience then.
It is. Really engaging, though. They're really interested in what we're doing here and what we're doing with Amazon. And we've just put up some information. If you have questions about today's presentation, you can always send me an email or you can give me a call. If you want to see what we're offering in terms of upcoming webinars, you can go to www.uhvsbdc.com. Very easy URL to remember, and you can see all the different things that are coming up. We have stuff for Small Business Saturday, stuff for holiday marketing, webinars on, as I said, intellectual property rights, because I am no expert at things like that. I just know you can't use somebody else's intellectual property without permission. In addition, some of our social links are showing, and I just want to thank Abby for being with us today, and thank all of our attendees for taking time out of their schedules to be with us as well. So, and I hope we'll have you back again, Abby. We'll see what our survey results say.
Thank you, Jean, for having me, and thank you everyone for participating. So hopefully, I really appreciated it, and yeah, happy to be a resource.
Okay, and we will see everyone at the next webinar. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, all.